All right, Yankees fans, buckle up because we've got plenty to break down. Another season has flown by, 162 games of highs, lows, and plenty of drama. And now the New York Yankees are set to enter October baseball. This year has been nothing short of a roller coaster. For a long stretch, the Yankees sat atop the American League East, and it genuinely felt like they were in control of their own destiny. But then came those stretches of frustrating losses, and of course, the injury scare with Aaron Judge that had everyone holding their breath and wondering if Tommy John surgery was about to derail the entire season. Luckily, Judge returned and reminded everyone exactly why he is one of the most dominant hitters in the sport. Still, the turbulence left a mark, and ultimately the Yankees fell short of taking the division crown, which went instead to the Toronto Blue Jays behind some unforgettable performances down the stretch. Even with that disappointment, the Yankees closed the season in style, rattling off an 8-game win streak to end a regular season. That's only the third time in franchise history they've managed a streak of that length or longer to finish out a campaign, with the other two coming in 1960 and 1979. Of course, history also reminds us that neither of those years ended with a championship parade in the Bronx. But the momentum is real, and this squad is playing some of its best baseball right now. Judge is still Judge. John Carlos Stanton has heated up at the right time, and Cody Bellinger has been an incredible addition. The pitching has been sharp and reliable, exactly the kind of formula you need heading into October. That's important because waiting for the Yankees in the wild card is none other than their fiercest rival, the Boston Red Sox. When it comes to postseason drama, nothing compares to Yankees versus Red Sox. The rivalry carries weight from decades of history, heartbreak, triumph, and unforgettable moments. This time around, the Yankees come in with a lot of positives, but also some glaring challenges. They finished with a losing record against Boston during the regular season, only managing 4 wins across 13 meetings. Offensively, their numbers against the Red Sox weren't great, with a team batting average hovering around .226 and an OPS just under 700. Those stats don't exactly scream dominance, and they highlight how tricky this matchup will be. But as we all know, playoff baseball is its own beast. Numbers matter, but they don't tell the whole story. In a 3-game series, anything can happen. One swing of the bat can flip everything. And when you've got Aaron Judge, one of the most feared hitters in the modern era, and Stanton, who has proven himself as one of the most dangerous postseason bats of his generation, the Yankees have the kind of firepower that could decide games in an instant. Add to that the postseason experience of Bellinger, who's been a key piece on a championship team before, and you start to see why there's belief that this group can do damage no matter what the regular season records say. Pitching, of course, will be at the center of everything. Game 1 is shaping up to be an absolute battle on the mound. Max Fried is expected to take the ball for New York. What a year he had in his first season in pinstripes, looking like a true ace with an ERA under 3, a strong strikeout total, and the kind of poise you want in big games. He'll be matched up against Garrett Crochet, the Red Sox lefty who has been nothing short of dominant and is the frontrunner for the Cy Young Award. Crochet piled up strikeouts all year and held hitters in check with a dazzling ERA, making him one of the most intimidating arms in baseball. This is the definition of a marquee pitching duel, and the Yankees will need Fried at his absolute best to give them the edge. If the series extends, Carlos Rodon is lined up for Game 2. Rodon has rediscovered the form that made him an all-star, piling up over 200 strikeouts and showing he can carry a heavy workload. He has been durable and dependable, and that's exactly what the Yankees will need in this high-pressure environment. Across the diamond, Boston will likely counter with Brian Bello, a talented young pitcher with good stuff but numbers that show he's more hittable than Crochet. On paper, this is where the Yankees have an advantage, but again, postseason games have a way of flipping expectations. Should it come down to a decisive third game, Luis Gil is expected to get the nod for the Yankees. While he doesn't have the same track record as Fried or Rodon, he has shown flashes of brilliance, keeping the ball in the park and limiting damage even when traffic has been on the bases. He's not perfect, but he's fearless, and sometimes that's exactly what you want when the season is on the line. Boston would likely counter with Lucas Giolito, Another quality arm who's more than capable of stealing a game if he gets locked in. Beyond the pitching matchups, the Yankees have to figure out some important lineup decisions. There are certain certainties. Judge in right, Stanton as the designated hitter, Bellinger in left, Trent Grisham patrolling center, and Ben Rice likely catching after the way he closed the season with such strong performances. The infield is where things get interesting. Paul Goldschmidt could be at first base against lefties, while Rice shifts over on days when a right-hander is on the mound and Austin Wells takes over behind the plate. At third, Ryan McMahon seems like the everyday choice, though Jose Caballero could be slotted in depending on the matchup. Second base is locked down by Jazz Chisholm, but shortstop remains the biggest question. Do the Yankees go with Caballero, or do they trust the young Anthony Volpe? The answer could change from game to game depending on who is pitching for Boston. This depth gives manager Aaron Boone flexibility, but it also puts pressure on him to make the right calls. Matchups are critical in October, and while depth is a strength, it can also create second-guessing if things don't work out. What makes baseball in the postseason so compelling is that sometimes it's not the star players but the role guys who step up in the biggest moments. One timely hit, one clutch defensive play, one unexpected hero. That's how playoff legends are born. Still, the Yankees have every reason to believe. Judge is coming off an MVP-caliber season, leading the league in batting average while showcasing the kind of power and consistency that has defined his career. Stanton is healthy at the right time, and we know how dangerous he becomes when the lights are brightest. Bellinger has the experience and versatility that adds another dimension to the lineup. Add in solid pitching, a bullpen that can lock games down, and the momentum of that 8-game win streak, and you've got a formula for a deep run. This isn't going to be easy. The Red Sox are no pushover, and Crochet is a nightmare to face in a short series. But the Yankees don't have to be perfect, they just need to win 2 games. That's the beauty and the brutality of the wild card. Every pitch feels like it carries the weight of the season, and every mistake can be magnified. But every big swing, every strikeout in a key moment can send a message to the rest of the league that this team is for real. All right, diving deeper into the Yankees' postseason outlook, the bullpen is going to be absolutely pivotal. Over the final stretch of the season, New York's relief corps showed flashes of brilliance. But October baseball has a way of exposing even the smallest weaknesses. A reliever who might be able to get through one inning cleanly in September could face a batter 3 times in the postseason, and suddenly everything changes. That's why depth, experience, and the ability to handle pressure become more important than raw numbers. The Yankees have some options that give them flexibility, but Boone will need to manage them carefully. The late innings are where games are won or lost, and with Boston's lineup featuring guys who can hit the long ball at any moment, every pitch counts. Any misstep, any pitch left over the plate could be the difference between advancing and going home early. It's fascinating to consider how the Red Sox will attack the Yankees. While their regular season numbers weren't extraordinary against New York, they are a team built for October. They have power, speed, and a few key pitchers who can dominate on their day. Garrett Crochet, as mentioned earlier, is a true ace, and the Yankees will need to bring their best approach to the plate to neutralize him. But beyond him, the Red Sox have hitters who can punish mistakes, and in a 3-game series, it doesn't take much for momentum to swing dramatically. One big inning, one clutch home run, and suddenly the narrative shifts. The Yankees will have to remain disciplined, patient, and focused because the Red Sox will not give anything away. Now let's talk about the Yankees lineup and how it could be deployed strategically. Judge is clearly the centerpiece. He commands attention from every pitcher, and his presence in the lineup changes the way the Red Sox have to approach every at-bat. Pitching around him is tempting, but you can't ignore Stanton either, who has proven time and again that he can carry an offense with a single swing. Bellinger in left field adds versatility, both defensively and offensively, giving the team another power threat and a strong presence in key situations. Trent Grisham in center and Ben Rice behind the plate provide stability, with Rice's hot finish to the season giving Boone confidence in his handling of the pitching staff. The infield rotations are where the chess match really comes into play. Deciding whether Caballero or Volpe starts at shortstop how Goldschmidt and McMahon are deployed, depending on the pitcher, and when to rotate players in and out for favorable matchups will require precise judgment. Boone's decisions here could make or break games, especially if any unexpected injury or cold streak pops up during the series. One of the things that makes Yankees-Red Sox matchups so electric is the psychological element. These teams know each other intimately, having faced off over 100 times in a single season. Rivalry doesn't just mean bragging rights. It means that every at-bat, every pitch, and every managerial decision carries historical weight. Players are acutely aware of what's at stake, and the crowd amplifies everything. Yankee Stadium, even during the wild card, will be a cauldron of tension, energy, and expectation. For the visiting Red Sox, the atmosphere can be intimidating, but they also feed off that energy. This is what makes postseason baseball so unpredictable and thrilling. The mental and emotional components are just as important as the physical ones. Speaking of the mental side, the Yankees are fortunate to have veterans who have been through this before. Stanton has had his share of postseason battles. Bellinger has a championship pedigree. And Judge, despite struggles in past playoffs, now carries the confidence of a league-leading season. October baseball isn't just about talent. It's about timing, resilience, and who can elevate their game when the stakes are highest. Young players like Caballero and Volpe bring energy, but they will need to manage nerves and seize opportunities. It's a delicate balance between raw talent and experience, and Boone's challenge is to extract the best from every player at the right moment. Looking at the potential pitching matchups beyond the starters, the bullpen will be tested in ways that regular season games rarely demand. Closers, setup men, and middle relievers may all see high-leverage situations that could decide the fate of the series. Matchups matter more than ever. A left-handed specialist might face only one batter, but if that one batter decides the outcome of a game, it becomes legendary. Boone has to weigh rest, prior workload, and situational performance, ensuring that his best arms are available when the margin for error is razor-thin. Meanwhile, the Red Sox will be doing exactly the same thing, turning each outing into a miniature chess game where every decision could alter the course of the series. Offensively, the Yankees are going to rely heavily on situational hitting. It's no longer about long streaks or padding stats. It's about driving in runs when it matters most. Judge and Stanton provide the backbone of this strategy, but contributions from Bellinger, Grisham, Rice, and even McMahon can be decisive. In October, timely hitting is often more important than consistent hitting. A single clutch home run, a well-placed double, or even advancing a runner with a productive out can swing momentum dramatically. This is where experience blends with talent. The ability to handle pressure, read the pitcher, and execute the plan becomes crucial. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. The Bronx is buzzing tonight as whispers that have dominated clubhouse corridors and late-night sports talk finally seem to solidify into reality. TREVOR BAUER is reportedly heading to the New York Yankees. The news, still technically in the realm of speculation, has ignited a wave of excitement among fans and analysts alike, who have been eagerly watching every hint of movement in the offseason. While the official press release has yet to drop, sources close to the front office suggest that negotiations have reached a final stage, with Bauer's signature expected to land on the dotted line any day now. If the deal goes through, it marks a seismic shift for the Yankees' rotation, bringing a pitcher whose electric arsenal and competitive edge could redefine the team's postseason ambitions. Bauer, no stranger to headlines and controversy, carries both immense talent and intense scrutiny. Yet, the allure of Yankee Stadium and the storied history of the Bronx Bombers seems to have captured his attention, sparking speculation about what he might bring to a squad hungry for pitching dominance. Fans have already started imagining the fireworks. Bauer locking in innings against the league's fiercest hitters, his blazing fastball and devastating spin rates turning rival batters into spectators. Of course, with Bauer, no rumor comes without debate. Social media is already alight with polarized opinions. some praising the Yankees for landing a potential ace, others cautioning that his unpredictable streaks could be a gamble. Inside sources hint that BAUER's charisma and confidence have energized the locker room during preliminary discussions, adding fuel to the belief that this is more than a fleeting rumor. Meanwhile, rival teams are quietly recalculating, knowing that if BAUER officially dons pinstripes, the dynamics of the AL East could shift dramatically. While nothing is official yet, the air in the Bronx is thick with anticipation. Local bars, sports radio shows, and fan forums are already abuzz, painting a picture of a city ready to embrace a new chapter in its baseball saga. The idea of TREVOR BAUER taking the mound at Yankee Stadium may still be speculative, but the buzz is undeniable. Should this deal close, the Bronx will not just be celebrating a contract. It will be welcoming a pitcher whose very presence promises drama, excitement, and maybe even a touch of chaos in the best way possible. In the meantime, fans are left on edge, awaiting the moment when rumor solidifies in a headline and the Bronx truly erupts. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.